Good morning, friends. Drew here on a beautiful, beautiful spring morning. Friday, May 1st, 2015. Spring is here, stuff is happening, and everybody I know is slammed, busy. The to-do list are driving them crazy. Maybe you guys have something that looks a little bit like this. It's got, 15 pages falling out of it, and it's a mess, right? This is also a time when a lot of folks get overwhelmed. Recently was talking with a psychologist friend of mine. Uh, this is the season for depression. Where does depression come from? Well, for a lot of people, a lot of times it's stress. Where does stress come from? Well, work, family stuff, money problems. Um, so she's trying to figure out, how are these stresses affecting you, and when do these stresses come to the point where they affect your sense of safety, your sense of security about your life, to the point where you drop into fight or flight, start releasing cortisol. And when you start releasing cortisol, that really just packs on the weight around the middle, and it can really help shorten the ends of your chromosomes. And she's going through all this, and I'm thinking, telomeres. I know something about that. Cortisol, gee, we have a product that helps support the body's ability to deal with inflammation. And so we had a conversation about that. But let me talk about your to-do list for a second. Keep you from getting overwhelmed. Product stuff aside, yeah, we've got some anti-stress stuff that just is awesome. But if you're having a struggle with this, here's my, as Jeffrey Combs like to say, millionaire tip of the day. You ready? Get away from this. Stop using this. This method sucks. Two friends of mine, Rob and Maureen Strobich, awesome entrepreneurs, were sharing with me a system that they learned. It's really helped them with a lot of different things. And it's very, very simple. Instead of keeping a to-do list, instead of writing it down in sequence, where there's no function, no order, maybe you prioritize it. You put A, B, C, D, E down the left. You number it. You put it into Stephen Covey's 4 quadrants. You figure out which are your most income-producing activities, and you work your highest. John Assaraf, your most effective things that you can do. He's got 2 ways of thinking about them: highest income, highest impact activities. You can do all that, but at the end of the day, it's still a list on a piece of paper, and it's still stressing you out because you're worried about it. Here's how you stop worrying about your to-do list. You ready? Use your calendar. I like to say we overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can accomplish in a year, in a decade, in a lifetime. So try this. Every time something pops into your head that's important that you want to do, instead of writing it on your to-do list, put it into your calendar. Look for your next available open slot when you could fit that in and make it happen. Yard work, maybe it's a weekend deal. Obviously you can see we've got a little bit of stuff to burn here in our fire pit, stuff we trimmed off the apple trees. Love my apple trees. Maybe it's yard work, splitting firewood. We were doing some of that this week. Maybe it's something to do for work. Okay, well, look at your schedule. You know what reports you have to do and the meetings that you have. Where can you put that in and actually put it on your schedule as a commitment? Now, what a lot of people like to do is they will leave their calendars open and flexible so they can, squeeze people in. If you are somebody who really is one of those, I don't like the term people pleaser, but where your priority is really others first, this can be your tendency where you don't want to commit to anything for yourself because you want to leave that space open in case somebody needs something from you. I'm going to encourage you to start, respecting yourself and respecting your family enough to start putting things in the calendar, boom, 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 so that you know when you're going to get these things done that are on your to-do list. So you start putting them in, plugging them in. The important stuff, obviously, sooner. The less important stuff, you can, schedule it down. But if it's important to you, then you're not going to push it. Or if you are going to push it, sometimes people use categories and they color code things in their calendar. So if it's something that can be pushed, especially if you're using like an electronic like Google, it can be a count. This is a tentative, doesn't have to get done here. It's just kind of, I plugged it in, so I had a plan. Because you want to have a plan for your week, you want to have a plan for your day, you want to have a plan for your month. So they put these things in, and then they might move them. But maybe they don't. So if you have something urgent that comes up that you got to get done, well, when's the next available time that you can do it? You see, here's why to-do lists stress you out. To-do lists stress you out because you don't know when you're going to get it done, and you know it's important. So by using your calendar as your to-do list and actually putting it in as an appointment, you know when you're going to do it. You now have a tickler reminder because you have something that's going to pop up and tell you, or you're going to look at your calendar and you're going to know. So you don't have to worry about forgetting it, which is a big thing with to-do lists. What was that Facebook meme I just saw the other day about, I'm not sure if I really have a lot of free time or if I've just forgotten everything I'm supposed to do, or maybe I lost my to-do list. I did that this week. I actually lost my notepad that had some of the things on it. Like, oh crap, what am I supposed to do? Put them in your calendar. That's your tickler system that reminds you. And with electronic ones, you can make them an annual event, so they come up again next year and the year after, whichever. Plug them in, and then plan your day. So I know today the top 3 things that I have to get done, and I'm going to go do them this morning after I finish this video. There are 3 things that absolutely have to get completed today, and they're the only things that I'm thinking about. And the way you don't get stressed is you don't think about the monstrous list, because you know they're plugged in, you know they're on the calendar, you know they are scheduled to get done. Are they getting done today? No. You wish they could? Yes, but they're not going to. So focus on what you're doing right now. So for me right now is the video. Right after this I have some data entry to do and some reports to run. Those are the 2 things that I have to get done this morning, and then I also have my plan for the afternoon. That helps me stay in control, stay a little bit less stressed, and not worry about when things are going to happen, when things get done, which then lower your cortisol. It lowers that fight or flight response because you're focused on what you're doing right now, the task at hand, and you're present with what you're doing right now and not thinking light years ahead to all the other things. So use your calendar as your to-do list. I showed you guys the visual one that I have up on my wall, and so I use that for writing in the big rocks, and then the little details go on my electronic one. But use that system to keep track of what's important to you. So when something comes into your radar, oh, I've got to do this, you either have to renegotiate something you've already put in your calendar, or you're just going to add it to the end. And then it's going to get done. It may be 45 days from now, but it's going to get done because I put it on my calendar and I scheduled a time to do it. The other thing this helps you with, and I realize this video is getting long here, but let's just run with it anyways. When someone comes to you and says, hey, Drew, can you help me with this? Grab your pickup truck on Saturday and help me move some stuff, or this has happened, this has happened. You have prior commitments in your calendar. You have prior commitments to yourself, you have prior commitments to your business, you have prior commitments to your customers, you have prior commitments to your family. And those prior commitments, because they're now in your calendar, you now have some personal, emotional leverage to be able to hold yourself accountable to your goals, commitments, obligations, things that you have decided are important to you, where you don't have to allow everyone else's priorities for you to run your day. So when someone says that they want you to do something with them, help them out on Saturday, you can look at your calendar and notice that you have prior obligations, prior commitments. And if you're going to move those to help somebody else, which is fine, know when you're going to move those to, so it doesn't stress you out. Because a lot of times what we do is, oh yeah, sure buddy, I'll help you out. And then those 5 things you had planned to do on Saturday now get pushed, and you don't know where they're getting pushed to because there's really no time in the schedule next week. And then you stress, and then you stay up late at night, and you just totally destroy your health. So that's my tip for you today. Use your calendar as your to-do list. If this is helpful, leave a like, leave a comment, share it with somebody, share it on your wall, share it to somebody else's wall. This is Drew in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, saying dream big. Dream bigger? Hashtag make life more epic. You want to know more about our team or hanging out with us? 855-21 goals or www.makelifemoreepic.com. Bye for now.